then. So first review for this week is for Remember Me, Synthetica by Aten. If you want to check out my review, I did just post that. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on Facebook or on my blog, then there's a link within the post. And this is the video review. So Remember Me, Synthetica. Oh, it was such an emotional read, honestly, so emotional. It's about Dr. Alexandra, and she's a scientist of artificial intelligence. She wakes up from a coma after 6 months, a very different person, but she now has sort of a bit of an altered memory, senses and personality because of that. So she's navigating her new self with Emily, who's a veterinary doctor, so a vet, and is completely smitten with her, thinks Alex is amazing. So they start to work on sort of getting Alex's life back on track, and it very quickly becomes apparent that something isn't right with all this. And so with Emily's support, Alex decides to sort of investigate, and she discovers more than she anticipated. So it's really, really exciting. But like I say, it was such a deep and emotional story because of this, and it was a surprising change for sci-fi, because this is a very sci-fi heavy type of theme with the artificial intelligence, and I thought, this is different. It was really, really different, and so it made it completely unique as a story. That connection between Emily and Alex, you know, as they started to realise something wasn't right with Alex after her coma, and I mean, it could take you a while to realise that, because you are a different person. You know, you've been through a trauma, and so that emotional connection that they had, but also that Alex had with herself, she sort of knew she was her but not her, and it was so weird for her, and she was like, this has just got to be, you know, the scientist in her tells her that this can't be anything more than just, you know, altered reality because of what happened to her for no other reason. And so she's trying to understand who she was before, because she can't quite remember all of that, and who she is now, sort of trying to discover whether she likes this new her, or whether she wants to remember the old her and get back to that, and how she's changed, and how that affects her and Emily as well, what it all means. So as confusing as it was for her, that wasn't the case with the story. The story was, although there were many a plot twist in there, it was actually really easy to follow, and although it was really unexpected, and at no point was overloaded with jargon or anything, and the difficult themes and bits and pieces, there was nothing that really sort of overwhelmed. I enjoyed how easily I could understand everything, and sometimes with sci-fi you can get very lost in all of that, so it was nice that this had that emotional level rather than the science level. And the science was there, but it was an emotional story. It was more about the character than their scientific discoveries and explorations and all that. So I really found myself quite emotionally attached to Alex, and when the pieces of this puzzle started to sort of be revealed, and you started to learn just what happened to her, kind of without her knowledge really, I felt all the pain and confusion that she did. Really intimately felt all that, and I had tears in my eyes for most of it. She struggled to decide what to do for the best. It was quite the conflict, and you know, she had to make choices that you just knew as a reader were not easy, and you sort of were like, everything she had to come to terms with, you could really connect with Alex, because Aten's given great insight into her character and her processing everything. It's really there for you to get involved with. So it wasn't easy, but obviously with friends and colleagues adding complication to the situation, you know, Alex was very trusting, and not just of Emily but of them all, and she had to decipher what was going to be best, and that's hard, like working out who's on your side and who's not. But it was a great sci-fi read, it really was. I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was something different, and it's definitely one of those books for, if you really like sci-fi, you'll really like this. But it's also for anyone who's really new to sci-fi and you're thinking, I don't really want to read it and I don't really like it. I mean, you don't really know till you try, and this would be a great one for you to try, to sort of engage with that genre, because you can just give it a try, because it's more of an emotional story. It's not heavy with the sci-fi element, and I really sort of enjoyed the story and thought it was quite deep and clever. and it was really fantastically written. It was really engaging story. So hopefully we are going to see more of Alex in the future, so we can see just how far things have come for her and Emily and changed now that she's learnt the truth. So I really do hope there will be more of this in future. But it was a really great book. Like I say, if you're new to sci-fi, give it a try, give it a start. I really enjoyed it, and sci-fi can be hit and miss, because if it's too heavy with unknown and new things, and you can find yourself, if you're not immersive in that, you can find yourself very lost. And this had new explorations and themes, if you like, but they underlined the romance, and Alex's character development really is her story. It's more about her finding herself and coming to terms with everything that's happened to her. So I really loved that. Made a lovely emotional story. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Remember Me Synthetica by Aten, which I really hope you will. If you've read Remember Me Synthetica, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below, please get involved. Please let us know what you thought of the book. If you haven't read it yet, but it's on your to be read list, you're planning to read it, or you're now really intrigued and you're thinking, I need to give that book a read, again, please comment below, please get involved, let us know, because it's always great to hear what you're reading. And if you do read it, I hope you enjoy it. Bye.